All right, welcome back. Let's take a few minutes and talk about some of the things, from a user experience point of view that probably need a little bit of improvement, right? I think a lot of these are kind of a reflection of ways organizations make decisions, way organizations are structured, um, the history and legacy of ways of working, competitive pressures, and so on and so forth. The cause and effect of a lot of these things are quite complex and have a lot of dimensions, but in the end, as a consumer, you just want things to work, right? You don't want them to be annoying. You want them to be clear, easily understood. If you had to learn it in the past, you want to remember the next time you try it. That should actually be kind of the cost of entry, which we'll talk about later. But a few pet peeves of mine, particularly around settings. So usually there's a section called settings, which just has different categories and lots of lists. And then sometimes there's settings within different domain screens themselves. Like you can set the audio, or you can set the way the navigation works, or you can, um, set the driver assistance, those kind of things. The beef I have with a lot of these is that these are just incremental adjustments that drivers shouldn't really have to worry about, right? If you are giving somebody a choice of 3 or a choice of 5 things to choose from, there are different levels of sensitivity, or there are different levels of brightness, or there are different levels of intensity, or there are different times and speed. There's a single best way to do it, right? And we as designers, I think it's beholden upon us to actually find that single best way to do it. There's so much variability, there's so much optionality that we're providing. And I think if you provide too much optionality, it's basically because you don't know the answer, right? And unfortunately, you want to, we hear the justification that you have to attend to every edge case, right? And the reality is maybe not, right? Maybe just please as many people and get it as close and accurate and you know and well designed as you think it should be, and let people use it. So why must I adjust sensor sensitivity? Along the same lines, right? So if things are turned on and off, and this goes into the next one, why do I need to turn so many function and behaviors on and off? Um, if something's annoying or it's frustrating, or uh, you know you feel compelled to turn it off all the time, then it's a design failure, right? It's been designed in such a way that it's just annoying the user or the operator. And this is the case for a whole lot of things, right? Quite a few of our sensors, um, quite a few things that even you only use once and you never use it again, or you demonstrate it to somebody and you never use it again. So the question is, do I really need all these things? Why are companies investing in designing such optionality and some such flexibility? And should the investment maybe be shifted to finding the single best way to do things, right? And removing all the things that are unwanted or annoying or so forth. Another question is around how we physically make the connection between the phone and the car, how we identify that it is you, whether it's authentication or ID scanning or those kind of things. But if you've bought a contemporary vehicle and you've tried any of these recently, you're using your app for certain things. Um, you're using QR codes in the car, you're using QR codes on the app, you're using PIN verifications, maybe you're using the authentication on the phone, and all these things. And then you're repeating them almost every time you drive if you don't set up shortcuts or those kind of things. So just incredible layers, no clear standard way of doing this. Um, and maybe 9 out of 10 times it works, but the one time it doesn't, it's quite frustrating, and to the point where people have more or less gotten used to it.